What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more acid-techno, as well as a silly little Luca. And we're returning for another tune from Stay It Forever, the proper label. I do a lot of reactions to tracks on labels that are within the Stay It Forever collective universe, but this one is on the original or grandfather label, if you will. And yes, this is from 2006, so almost 20 years ago now, though long after the label got started. And it's another tune by Trip Hazard, aka DDR, and this track is called Repoman, and it features a sample from the movie of the same name starring Emilio Estevez. Now I have to say, I've seen this movie, but I think only once, and I don't remember all of its parts or even necessarily all the characters in it, whereas a movie of his like Men at Work with Charlie Sheen, I've seen that a number of times, and I could probably quote entire scenes. But this does feature a very well-suited sample, and that is to say, it features a sample where there's a lot of intense arguing and there's a suggestion of a lack of appreciation, so it has a very like combative or confrontational vibe. And the tune, although it has a bit of acid funk to it, which is very much Dave's calling card, it has an edge to it. It has a very combative type of feel in terms of the atmosphere of the track. So yeah, it's a dirty acid stomper. I believe I described it similarly in my Discogs review, and I wrote that now, like I think 5 years ago, and when I wrote it, there was no one else who had commented on the release, and at that point it was 15 years after it had come out, and I was very surprised about that. So I think I began my comment by saying, wait a minute, how has no one commented on this? And I mentioned on that, or in that review, that both sides are great, meaning Rocksteady on the other side is nearly as good, although maybe slightly less wicked. It has just a bit more of that, funky yet driving acid techno sound that I think DDR does so well. I will note that on this release, Trip Hazard is written as one word, but I'm going to put it in the video as 2 words because on most releases where he's used that name, it has been listed as 2 words, so in any case, let's get to it. This is a tune by DDR under his Trip Hazard guise. The track is Repoman, and as I said, it's from 2006, and it samples the Emilio Estevez movie of the same name. It's actually a little faster than I remembered it. Are you bothered by the record sleeve?
Don't think like that to be a Repoman. Why don't you smarten up, kid? Fuck you, crazy.
Got a synth haze over the track.
inaugurated 2 world wars. I was killing people while you pushing around on your father's floor. You little scumbag. I worked 5 years in the slaughterhouse and 10 years in the prison guard in Attica. So what? So never say fuck you to me. Because you haven't earned the right yet. Fuck you! You little scumbag. See what I mean, punk? Don't ever tell me to shut up. See what I mean, punk? Don't ever tell me to shut up. See what I mean, punk? Don't ever tell me to shut up. See what I mean, punk? Don't ever tell me to shut up. See what I mean, punk? Don't ever tell me to shut up. See what I mean, punk? Don't ever tell me to shut up.
baseline funk. I knew it just stopped like that. Which is funny, because it's the kind of track that I probably wouldn't end too many mixes with. I feel like it's a tune that would lead itself well to a long double drop transition. But yes, it's fantastic. It's all the things I was saying in advance. It's dirty, but it's also funky. Like, it's a bit fun, even as it's, like, wickedly having it. So I like the deep and dirty bass line. I like that, like, acid hose just kind of spraying the acid around. I like that more cyclical, like, kind of like rhythmically lashing acid line, which eventually, goes up high. And yeah, I like the sample. I think it's well chosen. Again, you don't really need to know the movie, and I don't need to remember it perfectly to appreciate the idea of two people, like, arguing and one, like, claiming seniority, saying, like, hey, don't talk back to me, don't say fuck you, I was fighting in world wars when you were still, an unborn gamete, shall we say, And the idea that, you're going to come here talking to me after I, spent 10 years as a prison guard at Attica, 5 years working in a slaughterhouse, like, two kind of jobs you wouldn't really ever want to have and which are sort of brutal and, would test your endurance and so on. You don't get to come here and badmouth me. And the guy's like, so what? Fuck you. Like, I like both sides of it. I like the guy sort of like, hey, where do you get off talking to me like that? And I like the other guy is like, what are you talking about? Fuck you again. So it's a sample that I think fits the sonic tone of the track very well. So once again, shout out to Dave. I've enjoyed his tracks for a very long time, including Trip Hazard tracks going back to the 90s. I've mentioned this in some other videos. I was lucky enough to meet him and even joke around with him a little bit, or perhaps better, he joked around with me when I met him at a party here in Southern California. He's friends with my friend Lethal One, aka Jose Rodriguez, who's been involved in some events where some notable acid-techno figures from the London scene have come over here and played. And I remember when I met Dave, not only did I have a cool conversation with him about, acid-techno in more recent decades and, some producers, at least for a while, kind of, distancing themselves from it a little bit, but then, maybe it's come around again and it's gotten more respect again, and there's a younger generation of, producers making it now, sometimes in collaboration with, the forefathers of the genre. So it was a really cool conversation. And then I remember when I was leaving the party that night, I was sort of like saying goodbye to everyone, giving them high fives and so on. And he gave me a high five, and then he put his hand down low, and I fell for it. I went for the low five. He pulled it away. He did the too slow Joe sort of maneuver, and it was a good comedic moment. So yeah, shout out to DDR for his production and for his comedy. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Chris and Aaron and the Stay Up Forever team and staff who've continued to put out great acid-techno on vinyl, not only now more than 30 years after they got started, but more than 15 years, more than 15, almost 20 years since this record came out. So yeah, shout out to the Stay Up Forever, the label. Let me know what you think, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.